What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Takeover with your girl Shay McCray, and of course, I got the one and only what guest co-host for the day. Yeah, y'all see Keith Perrin on with me today, but he's here with me because we interviewing a legend. So I needed him to join me in on this one. What's up, Keith?
What's up, Shay? How you doing? I
I'm
had to jump on, Queens in the building, so I had to jump on. This is legendary right here.
So the legendary Roxanne Shante is here joining us today, and like he said, we needed queens in the building, because I'm Brooklyn, so we needed queens in the house right now, so to do this thing. So how you doing, beautiful?
I'm absolutely great. I can't complain.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I know before you jumped on, Keith was telling me, he was like, "Man, I used to just pick on her all the time." Go ahead, let her know what you were saying, Keith.
No, I was saying, I got this thing with, the Bronx started hip hop and all that shit. It's cool. But
Right?
they was running around in tassels and cowboy hats and shit. And, when it came to Queens, Run DMC was the epitome of the B-boy, and Roxanne was the epitome of the B-girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was the one that kind of set the trends. And, coming up from Queens, it made me feel proud just to know that we had a hold in the hip hop game that was a stronghold. It wasn't like, we was just fucking around. Like, we had the real heavy hitters, with the Juice Crew and all y'all. So, that's what I came up on. So I was always super proud. I'm always super proud of everybody that come from Queens, but when I'm able to talk hip hop, I'm able to
Yes.
talk about you guys, and that makes me so proud.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we so appreciate it. And like you said, we had more than a hold. We had a grip on that shit. Like literally. That's us. We grab
It's in
hold.
the water.
That's what it said. That's where it's at. The main thing about it is that people can say that there's so many other things that the other boroughs offer, but you can't come in or go out of New York without coming to Queens because
No,
that's where the airports are.
no, you cannot.
Right.
You are right about
Facts.
that.
You know
Now,
what I mean?
now,
Absolutely.
Roxanne,
Yes, baby.
you were only 14, okay, when Roxanne Revenge dropped, right? And it became a massive success. What was it like stepping into the industry at such a young age?
For me, when it came to Roxanne's Revenge, I was already very popular because I was a battle rapper. So I had already went around the city and was already winning contests and things like that. I think my very first one, literally, I was 10 when my mom took me out to one that was outside of our projects. But by the time I was 13, 14, people would come to my projects, which was Queensbridge Public Housing. They would come to Queensbridge in order to battle. So for me, when Roxanne's Revenge came, it gave me a certain like, okay, now I'm known outside of the city, but I still walked into every place like I'm known, like it was already in me I was already a gladiator.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, did you have any idea at the time that when the Roxanne Wars would become such a historic moment in hip hop? Did you have an idea that would happen?
Well, I was able to see that there was definitely a difference because the whole thing about it is being able to make records and made one in somebody's living room and it being on a cassette tape, it allowed me to open up the doors for other people to realize, like, listen, you don't have to wait for a record company. You don't have to get in these expensive studios. So I think everyone who had a cassette tape at home or a cassette recorder was like, you know what? If Roxanne Shante made a record off of a cassette tape, now I can do the same thing. So for me, it's like I became that if she could do it, I could do it too person. And it felt really good because I didn't see a lot of people before people be like, oh, listen to what I recorded off the radio. But now people was like, listen to what I did in my house. So if I had anything to do with that, then it's definitely an honor for me.
So looking back now, how do you feel about the influence of female artists in the hip hop today? Because you
Well,
still feel a big influence right now.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I think now when you look at the female artist, she has now stepped into a position of where she can no longer just be considered the female artist. She is now just a hip hop
Hip
artist.
hop artist, yes.
She is now part of the top five, and in the top five, three of them will be female. So because of that, she's no longer the female artist. She is the artist. She is on the charts with, with the men. She's on the charts with the groups. She's on the charts making it happen. But she's also now in a position position where she has been able to now make those decisions that we as female artists in the beginning of this great thing called hip hop weren't able to make those decisions. See, now she can pick and choose her an attorney. We didn't get that option. She can say, I'm getting ready to have a baby. We were told not to tell anybody those things. So there's a sense of freedom. And with that freedom comes along another level of creativity. And that is what you see in artists such as Doechii and artists like Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B. You get a chance to see them say, like, listen, this is what I vision. This is what I want.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
I have a question because I know a lot of artists, especially, I don't like to say old school artists. I like to say,
Me neither.
one of our the first artists to ever do this shit. But I know a lot of artists, they have a problem with the young artists coming up. And what is your take on that? Because I know I don't see you hating at all ever, but I know, you got a lot of, I know one of my problems with some of the artists, and it's not young artists, it's just artists in general. I don't like when they jump on a wave. I like to create their wave. You know what I'm saying? And I see a lot of artists now, if drill rap is in, that's all they're doing. Or, if mumble rap is in, that's all they're doing. Well, what are your thoughts on today's artists, especially female artists?
Well, for me, I enjoyed aging. Like I came up through the foster care system. I went through a lot of trials and tribulations as a child. So for me, every time I was able to see a birthday was a true milestone for me. So I enjoy getting older. A lot of other artists don't. And I think what happens is they don't understand that the way the universe works is that the things that you fight against are going to also fight back. So therefore, I didn't fight against aging. So therefore, you will age gracefully. Not saying like I still look 10 years old, I still look 15, 20, 30, whatever the case may be, because I'm well into my 50s. But I enjoy being into my 50s. I look forward to my 60s. And so because of that, I'm not angry when I see a young lady walk into the room, as long as she's not doing anything to disrespect herself or disrespect the others in the room. I welcome her into the room. And if I do see that she's doing something because of lack of knowledge, then I will pull her to the side and say, listen, sweetie, let me tell you something. Now, this is what you got to do. You in this room with these people, you want to do this. And then they look at me more so as that auntie, that big sister, that mom, that grandmother. These are all titles that I love. So even when people say like, oh, I don't like to hear when people say, old school or this, like, I love it. Like when I go to a party, I want the motherfucker to say old school party. I don't want it to say nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Because not every old school artist has a classic. Some of them is just old school. You know what I mean? And I want to go in there and I want to enjoy that moment, enjoy that time, because I embrace every experience. Some people are running from those experiences. They don't want to get older, or maybe when they see another artist, they think like, oh yeah, well, I'm better than them. And you may have been, and you may be, but your time was your time. And like with any real royalty, any real king and queen, what they do is they understand is that you're not going to reign forever.
Exactly.
And so because you're not going to reign forever, the best thing to do is to do the best things you can during your reign, so that when the next queen comes along, she brings her own jewels, because you never have to give your crown, because she's supposed to come with her own shit. So you don't have to give her your crown.
Ever. You're adjusting crowns at that point. You're adjusting each other crowns. Yes.
Exactly. But you have now prepared yourself a place where you're ready to leave this castle. And now this castle is yours. And you're lovingly accepted, and you're going to take care of it, and you're going to do right with it. And now I can go over here and I can enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to reign for a very long time. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and people just want to wear it all the time. But sometimes it's good to just put on a fucking bonnet or a scarf.
No, you're right about that. I love the fact that you embrace the aunties.
Oh, I love it.
I think Mary J, she don't want to be called that, but you auntie. Look.
Listen, invite auntie over so I can come and play spades.
They don't know.
I embrace it. I know they call me OG, and I love it because we set a standard and a model for a lot of people to follow and inspire a lot of people. So I embrace it. And my mother used to tell me I was gonna be in dead or in jail by the time I was 21, and I used to look at it like, what the hell is wrong with you? But at 17, you know what? I was almost dead. So I embrace it. I love, like you said, I love to grow older, and your body don't work the same way, as
No,
it used to, and don't recover and all the same way it used
absolutely.
to. But I love it.
Yeah, and then let me tell you, and when they see you as auntie or they see you as aunt, there's a lot of things that now your body's not required to do. Because when you drop something, they'll pick it up for you. When you need something, they're there for you. So it's just how you embrace them. And that's what I do. Like, I love it. I was at the Grammys. I seen Doechii performing. As bad as my feet hurt, I jumped up and was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really enjoyed that
Yeah,
because
I saw you name Doechii first. I am so proud of her. I am like, it's
She's
just
dope.
for one, from a woman of a darker skin complexion that has definitely been recognized for her beautiful talent. And here you are, we on this Zoom, and you're like, that's the first name that you recognize. That's amazing. First of all, we got to give you your flowers too for being winning a Grammy now. What was it? The Lifetime Achievement.
Lifetime achievement.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
yes. Congratulations to you
Yeah.
for that. How did you feel? Did you know? Did you expect it? Was it long overdue? Like, how did you feel when you to receive that?
Well, I never like you get into the industry, anybody that gets into the music industry, there were a few things that you wanted to have. And the things that you wanted to really have at that time was you wanted to have a Grammy, you wanted to be in Billboard, you wanted to have a record deal, and you wanted to have a really good video. Like those were the things that you wanted, and if you were able to do those things, then you automatically felt like, okay, you know what? I have accomplished so much in my life by being able to do those things. So when they did give me a Grammy, the first thing I thought to myself was like, you know what? This is my list of greatness, you know, because that was my first time going to the Grammy. Now, not everybody can.
Wow.
My first time going to the
Was
Grammy,
it your first invite?
I left with a Grammy.
Was that even your first invite to the Grammy?
No, it wasn't, but it was the first
Okay.
time that I went. Like,
Okay.
they give you an invite and you say, okay, well, look,
Yes.
I'm going to go. And then you say, well, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to go this time. It might be situations or circumstances that make you not attend, but you love the Grammys and you respect it and you attend all of the events. But for me, my first time, I said, you know what? Let's see what happens at the Grammys this year. And literally within a few months after me saying, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go this year. They called me on the phone and said, you're getting a Grammy. And so
Wow.
when you talk about just the way the universe works, it's just the
Yeah.
way the universe works. It's all about patience. It's all about patience. It's about you trying to understand that when it's your turn, not
Yeah.
trying to
Good
squeeze
time,
in
good time.
when it's somebody else's time, not thinking that every opportunity is the opportunity, but instead having the patience to wait. Because once you get to that one opportunity that's supposed to be yours, the doors open up because of patience.
Because of patience. Now, your story was beautifully told on the
Thank you.
Netflix, Roxanne. How involved were you in with the creativity process?
Well, my story was truly authentic. What we did was we actually toned it down a little bit. Again, like I,
Oh,
like I said, Roxanne Shante has
yeah.
a lot in life. So the movie only really reflected on 3 years of my life. So when you look at it, you only get to see 3 years, but I'm well into my 50s. So there was so much more to the Roxanne Shante story. But I was there on set every day, served as executive producer, was there with the
Nice.
writing, made sure that everything was done the way I wanted it to be done. And I was very happy with that. And I can't thank Pharrell and Forrest Whitaker, Mimi Valdez, and Nina Bon Jovi enough for that because literally they were like, how do you want to tell your story? And I said, this is how I want to tell it. And they said, okay, well, let's do it. And we were able to put the scenes with it. Now, the reason why we also toned it down is because the young lady who played me, her name is Shantae Adams, and she had just graduated out of school, I want to say June 26th, July 5th we started filming. So she literally went straight from school, straight to filming. And so I didn't want it to be any nude scenes. I didn't want to subject her to that or make her think that in order for her to get into this industry, that that was what she was going to do. And I also did not want to set the standard for her as an actor where people felt like they could use her to subject her for those scenes. So because of that, we set the bar high. And then everything that she did after that was like Denzel Washington, Disney this and Disney that. And
Yeah.
that's because if we don't set those standards for our own young ladies, then people feel like they can treat them any kind of way because that's the way we treat them. And I didn't want to be part of that.
And she wasn't stereotyped. So you help
Exactly.
you help pave the way for someone else. Look at you,
It-
even in the midst of your own story. Look at you, still
it-
adjusting crowns.
because you have to think of others. That's the thing about it. There's so much that you can definitely do for yourself, but you really benefit from the things that you do for others.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure. With all of these documentaries and streaming platforms, do you ever plan on doing a more in-depth documentary on yourself?
I was thinking, like, everybody says, like, we would need to know more about the Roxanne Shante story. Like, we need to know some more of the good days and the bad days. And
Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie, I don't watched it over and over again because it's like, did I miss something? It
I
gotta be
watched it about
more.
3 times myself.
you know what it is? Every time I think about getting ready to do it, even getting down to writing a book, every time I get ready to do it, the universe does something else amazing. So it's like if I would have wrote my book already, then it would have excluded my Grammy. If I would have told my story already, it would have excluded this part. If I would have told that, then it would have excluded the fact that I have a radio show that has 7 million listeners per day. And
Yes,
literally, I
yes,
don't get a day off
yes.
because of that. You think that's what I used to think. I used to think the more listeners you get, the more you can relax in your position. And that's not true because the more
Uh,
listeners you have, the more you have to be on air. And I thank LL. It's a Queens thing, baby. I thank L for seeing that vision because he said, like, listen, it's one thing to hear your records and see your movie, but people need to hear your voice and be in your life every day. And so it gives me a chance to have a nice day every day. And I thank him for that.
Well, I know you got to get up out of here. But what projects are you working on now, and what should your fans be looking for?
You know, um, right now, because I'm a CASA, which is a court-appointed special advocate for children who are in foster care and misplaced adoption.
Nice.
So that's always been near and dear to me in my heart. Because when I went through foster care and was going through all of the different situations, we didn't have anybody who cared for us, who was really that voice for us. So when I found out that I was going to be able to be a CASA, I did it both in New York and here in Essex County in Newark, New Jersey. So I'm actually going to take some time off and I'm going to use the quote unquote star power to go back into the courts and become a CASA just for a little while because coming out of the pandemic, some of these children have really experienced some atrocities. And I think some people need to go in there and speak up for them. And no, I'm not an attorney and no, I'm not as knowledgeable as the judge. But when it comes to a child that has been through some things, I definitely have a degree in that. So I know that I can walk in there and be the voice for them. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And I also want to extend that to other people. Like if you've been through some situations and things like that, and you feel like you could be a voice for them, these children really don't have anybody to speak up for them. So please, try to consider that, take some time out and be a CASA, which is a court appointed special advocate, just to advocate for these kids, whether it's in school, when people don't want to listen to them, and maybe even talk to the foster parents, like, listen, this is like they have a voice. Somebody, they need to be a voice. So I think I'm going to use my voice for that coming up in the near future.
I love it.
no,
I
well
love
done, well done.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Again, adjusting crowns. Again, I love it. We appreciate you for all that you have given back, even just paving the way. Again, I'm not even a rapper. I do my thing with the hosting,
Oh
but
no, you got it. I was listening to your voice. You was talking to me one way, and as soon as you opened that mic, that voice changed and everything. So you doing
it's so funny because when I step on the red carpet, sometimes when I'm with him and I be like, Keith, I'm nervous. I need you to start. He be like, get out my face. You got
That's
this.
right, 'cause you
I
got
get
this.
nervous every time, right?
And
Trust
you know what
Every
me.
that means?
project she gets
That
nervous.
means, you know what that means? That means that you're very good at what you do. People who don't get nervous, they're
They're
not good
not
at what
good.
they do.
Yeah.
All right.
Facts.
Before you get up out of here, I do want to know if you could rewrite just any part of your career journey, would you, and what would it be?
If I could rewrite any part of my journey, like I really choose not to rewrite it, but if I did have a suggestion for any young lady that's getting in the industry, There will be two things that I would say. One is make sure you have an attorney. That's more important than who does your hair. That's more important than who buys your clothes. That's more important than who hangs out with you or what they drinking in the clubs. You must have an attorney. And two, your significant other, whether it be your man or whatever, cannot be your manager. Let them manage to keep you happy. Let them manage your relationship, but never let them manage your career.
I respect it.
One more before you go. What's your favorite FUBU moment?
You gotta hit that one.
My favorite FUBU moment is when I got a box from FUBU with the dresses that was off the top, the ones that was sleeveless, the sleeveless elastic joint, baby, and it made me look slimmer. That's my favorite FUBU moment, baby.
Yeah, I was probably me. I was the product placement guy, so I probably said that to you. But thank you for your time, Shante.
Thank you.
Love
I appreciate you.
Keep doing your thing and striving to be the best you can be. And keep rising, lady.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Oh, and let them know where they can tune in every day. They already know. Rock the Bells.
Well, I'm on Sirius XM LL Cool J's Rock the Bells radio channel 43, 4 to 7 p.m. daily.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Peace.